What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. It's kind of a cold day here in Michigan, but it's okay because the sun's coming up and it looks like it's going to be a great day. Today is going to be a little bit different as we are not going to be working on that bad boy right there. We're actually going to be working on an LMM today. So my brother-in-law just bought a dually 1 ton and he's pretty excited to start doing a couple of things to it. First off, we're going to actually do is put a cold air intake. So I'm going to drive over to his house, but first off, cold start. Woo, she's screaming this cold in the morning, but I love it. I love doing the cold starts. I think they're a lot of fun. Gets the internet talking. Either way, I haven't started her up in a couple of weeks, I want to say. I don't really drive very often as I have a company vehicle that I drive for work. So we're going to let this thing warm up and hit the road. Alright, now that we're on the road, we can talk a little bit about the truck. It is a 2013 with a 6.6 liter Duramax LMM engine in it. It is a 1-ton dually. It's a crew cab short box. And it's a very, very nice truck. There's almost no rust on it whatsoever, which is really awesome. It already has an upgraded high flow exhaust with better, more eco-friendly tuning. We're going to start putting, it's got a lot of the factory parts still on it, so we're going to start putting some of the good stuff back on there. And he's not positive yet on the goals that he would like to do for this truck. We're going to start with the cold air intake and see how it goes. I'm going to see if I can convince him on how to get some more of the piping out there. Make this engine bay, dress it up a little bit, make it look nice and pretty, and hey, who knows, we'll get her to flow a lot better. So we're almost there. I think the best way to heat up an engine is actually to warm it up. At a stop sign, let's see if we can get this bad boy to scream. Too much road noise. That's what I kind of figured. It's hard to get turbo spool without actually physically out of the truck. So either way, we're almost here. All right, we're here. You want to see something super ironic? Super awesome Duramax. Tesla. Kind of fun. Either way, well, let's get this thing. Let's go check this out and get it in. Now this color is called Illusion Cherry, and I think it's going to look really nice with this gray colors. All right, first we're going to do, we're going to take these hose clamps off. There's one right here, and then there's one right here right by the sensors. Those are 5/16. Then we're going to pull these tabs off. This white tab will come out. This thing will come right out. And then same with the red one right here. We'll pop that out. We'll pull these out. Alright, these are really easy. All you do is just take like a small screwdriver or a knife, pop this little clip out, and then this small piece right here, you push that down. Let's see if I can do that here. Just comes right out. Same with the one down here. Just pop this red clip out, pinch the black thing, and it should come right out. Just like that. Alright, next we're just going to pull this right off. Should come off easy depending on how new or old your diesel is. Alright, next you want to move these out of the way so you're not going to hit it. Just shove these underneath this. And then watch your coolant line. Should come out. They're not super easy. Next we're going to remove these 10mm bolts. We got one right here, one right there, one right there, and one right there. And we're going to take this whole piece right out. Next you just slide this thing right in there, nice and easy. Make sure you take the top off first, otherwise you're going to have a lot of issues getting it in. Three screws in now, one here, one all the way over here on this side, and then one right here, 10mm, the old ones that we took out. I'll throw those back in off camera. Alright, next we're going to put the coupler on. Make sure these are facing you so it's not so difficult for you to put it on. And then if it's cold out here like it is in Michigan today, this might be a little more difficult. You might have to warm it up to get it on. We'll see how this one goes. Alright, now that that's on, we're going to put the metal pipe in here, right here. We're going to go underneath this thing right here. With the LML, you want to have these underneath the actual pipe itself, so when they come back around, they'll actually reach the sensor. So let's get that metal piece back in. All right, now we're going to take your sensors out. Make sure they are directional. So make sure you get them in the same way, and you can see that we have an arrow right here for the direction of flow. It's also written on the new pipe. We'll get those transferred over. All right, now the new sensors are in. These are 3mm. That's what HSP uses. There are a T20 torx back to get those back on there. And as you can see here, we got the flow arrows going the correct way. It's also written on the pipe there too. There it is on this one. That was right there. It's underneath this thing. So we're gonna get this in the truck, move on. All right, now that we got this pipe in there, we did end up having to redo some of the wire harness so we could get this pigtail over here and splitting it over for that sensor. We'll go to the hardware store here a little bit later. We just want to make sure this thing is running, and we'll clean this all up nicely with some wire loom. We tighten up all the bolts. Make sure you use the 1/2" drive Agga Dugga. I'm just kidding. Just make sure they're tight, not stripped. Get the filter on. We should be able to fire this thing up. All right, go ahead. All right, successful. We just got back from the test drive, and it looks really, really well. It performs great. You can hear the turbo up a little bit louder. It's not wildly credible, but the exhaust note sounds a lot different. It really seems to scream when you get on it. So the only thing I don't like is this right here. We are going to talk to tech support, but they are not open today, so we're going to figure that out on Monday. We're going to call them and get that figured out, because it seems like it's pinching out a little bit. Other than that, we just got to clean up the wires, and we'll do that a little bit later. That wasn't wildly too terrible of an install. The only issue we really truly had, well, actually there's kind of two of them. One of them was the turbo mouthpiece, that coupler that connects to that and that cold air intake. That was really difficult to get on, and I'm thinking the reason why that was so difficult is because it was pretty cold out here. Like I said, it was about 18 degrees when I left the house this morning. It's 23 now, so it's not like it's super warm out, so I think it was just kind of cold and brittle. And then the other part was that the coolant line that's kind of running into the max sensor. Other than that, it was actually a pretty easy install. They did a very good job. They have really high quality parts, and that illusion cherry is a really good color for that type of color truck. I think it's going to look really great, and I may have been able to convince them to get a little bit more pretty piping in there, so we'll see how that goes. It was kind of nice working on something a little bit different than an LMM, you know, that being an LML. So basically the same thing, just a little bit, piping's a little bit different. There's obviously more sensors, stuff like that, but mostly the same thing. But it is nice working on something else other than my own personal truck. So other than that, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you do like this type of content, or you're having fun or have learned something with this channel. It really does help us out. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and it would be pretty awesome if we could hit that this year. That would be a pretty good goal I would like to have. I also do have an Instagram. It's Xtrodinary Duramax. I do post on there every once in a while. It's not super often, but it's more just kind of truck pictures and stuff like that. It's not really a whole lot of content. I do seem to message people and talk through there a lot more than I do on any other social media. And We have also started a Facebook group too, if you want to look at that. That is also Xtrodinary Duramax. I'll leave everything that we, tools that we use in the description, and I'll leave a link for the actual part itself. It'd probably just be the HSP website themselves, not the because they got all kinds of different parts there. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Deuces.